Riders just getting into position. Pole position, Sakata, Rowdies, Wada and Tsujimura complete the front row. It looks set to be another battle between Rowdies and Sakata, who are separated by 17 points at the top of the World Championship table. Agonising moments wait while they wait for the course cars to return. The lights are ready. Those motorcycles are getting rather hot. The man with the red flag eventually moves out of the way. The lights go red first and switch to green. And it looks like a good start from the three Japanese on the front row of the grid, from Sakata, Wada and Tsujimura. But it's Rowdies that gets the best start of all, and Rowdies that leads from Sakata. 7 is Noboru Ueda from the second row of the grid. He's in third position. But all safely around the first right-hander, sweeping left up the hill, under the bridge. It was Dirk Rowdies that made the early running. It's Rowdies from Sakata. Noboru Ueda is there. Tsujimura is there. Coming up the inside is the number 11 machine of Peter Ertl. But it's Dirk Rowdies, second fastest in practice, who sets the pace. Rowdies and Sakata, 5 and 8. Ueda is 7. 36 is Takeshi Tsujimura. Then number 17 is Akira Saito. He's come through from the third row of the grid, so he must have made a lightning getaway. And just look at the riders bunched up at the start of this race. 33 is Stefan Prime there. He had a good start, better than usual at any rate. But out front, it's Rowdies from Sakata. Ueda in third place. Now, Rowdies will be wanting to try and make a breakaway if he possibly can, but it is very, very difficult in this 125cc category to do just that as they head round the right-hander. They begin the climb up the hill. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. A fall there. 2 men have gone down. They're both up on their feet, but they're both out now. Was one of those Waldman? It's difficult to tell unless we get a close-up. It wasn't Ueda, so one of those was Ralph Waldman, I believe, that went down there. But it's still Rowdies that leads. Sakata in second place. Sakata is right on the German's tail. Ueda, Tsujimura, Ertl, Saito. But at the end of the first lap, it's Dirk Rowdies that leads the way from Kazuto Sakata, Noboru Ueda and Takeshi Tsujimura. And let's have a look at that incident again around the right-hander. Well, the rear wheel just broke away and there was nothing. It's amazing that more riders weren't brought down there. That following bike just T-boned the machine that was on the ground. Both riders up on their feet immediately. They were obviously expecting more people to be involved in that. And they wanted to get out of the way as quickly as possible. But that incident over, the race rages on. 18 laps remaining, 1 lap gone. And already there's drama in the Czech Republic Grand Prix. Rowdies from Sakata, Ueda and Tsujimura. Now, what usually happens when there's an incident like that is that there's a big gap opens up where the fallen riders would have been. One of them was certainly Ralph Waldman, I think. But the identity of the other one, I can't say at the moment. We're back at Brno, and you just caught a glimpse there of Ralph Waldman, who was involved in that crash earlier on. None the worse for his ordeal, walking back to his pit. Dirk Rowdies, meanwhile, has had another fastest lap. 5 laps of this race gone, 14 laps to go. It's Rowdies from Sakata still out front. Tsujimura and Ueda third and fourth, and then that battle for 5th place that you've just caught a glimpse of then. 17, Akira Saito. 6, Jorge Martinez. 11, Peter Oertel. But plenty of action down the field. The race leader, Dirk Rowdies, setting fastest lap after fastest lap for Bruno Casanova, is well in the hunt there as well in this battle. But they're a long way behind the race leaders, who have set an absolutely blistering pace. Dirk Rowdies, 7 Grand Prix wins to his credit so far this year. 6, we're looking at Jorge Martinez, by far the most experienced and the most successful rider in this race. Martinez, the man that all Spain refers to as Aspar. And he's had a long and very, very successful career indeed. That's the battle for 3rd place between the number 7 machine of Noboru Ueda and the number 36 bike of Takeshi Tsujimura. Ueda with the upper hand at the moment, but for how long? When Ueda took a look over his shoulder, unfortunately, wrong shoulder. Takeshi, my dear chap. That's the battle that's raging on behind him. In the thick of that battle, Jorge Martinez, 30 years of age and 36 times a Grand Prix winner. Incredible. 11 Spanish titles. That's Peter Oertel. Akira Saito leading Martinez. Then it's Peter Oertel, then Casanova. Following Casanova is 33 Stefan Prime. And Prime is in 10th position. It's still Rowdies and Sakata out front though. That's Akira Saito on bike number 17. Saito aboard his Honda, leading that group of riders, battling it out for 5th position. This is the race leader on the number 5 bike, Dirk Rowdies, 7 times a Grand Prix winner this year. Sakata, meanwhile, has just 1 win to his credit. Rowdies, of course, the winner of the previous 2 Grand Prix in San Marino and Great Britain. He's ridden absolutely brilliantly this year. Only the Spanish Grand Prix he failed to score in when he crashed on the opening lap. But every other race he's picked up points in. And Sakata, well, he's picked up points in every race except the European Grand Prix at Barcelona. And if he'd done that, well, the championship would be even more interesting than it is at the moment, with just 11 points separating these 2 men at the top of the championship table. I beg your pardon, 17 points. Ralph Faldman not happy at all with what happened to him in this Grand Prix. But looking none the worse for wear, even if he is a little hot in the sunshine of the Czech Republic. Another lap completed for the race leaders, for Dirk Rowdies, who crosses the line now, followed by Kazuto Sakata. The German flags waving all the way around the circuit. 7 laps completed. Ueda in 3rd, Tsujimura in 4th place. Then comes that whole group of riders slugging it out for 5th spot. Saito, Martinez, Oertel, Casanova, Prine and Giro. Dirk Rowdies on that number 5 machine, which has won now. The fastest lap has gone to Kazuto Sakata now, so Sakata is coming back into it. Dirk Rowdies, 28 years of age, won his first Grand Prix in Brazil last year, but there's been absolutely nothing stopping him this year. From Biberach in Germany, Dirk Rowdies. In fact, he's 29 years of age, I've just worked out. He's had a birthday since the beginning of the season. And I haven't kept my records up to date. But it doesn't matter. However old he has dominated the championship this year. Now, Sakata has fought back in no uncertain terms, because it looked at one time as if Dirk Rowdies was making the breakaway, but Kazuto Sakata has fought back. He's put in the fastest lap of the race. He's mounting a determined challenge to try and get back on terms with the race leader. First thing he has to do is get back on terms with him. Then he has to go past him. He needs the victory here. And he's right on the rear wheel of Dirk Rowdies. Just look at that. Another terrific scrap between these two, who've been battling it out for the World Championship right from the start of the season. Rowdies began with 3 wins, and the man that was second all 3 times was Kazuto Sakata. 8 laps gone, 11 to go, and Sakata, is he going to make his move? Is he going to try and get through? No, indeed he hasn't. He's content to stay there. It's Rowdies and Sakata, Ueda and Sujimura. Those positions unchanged. Martinez up into 5th place ahead of Saito, Prine, Ertl and Casanova. But leading the race is Dirk Rowdies, and still on his tail, Kazuto Sakata. Prine, Martinez, Saito, Giro, Ertl and Casanova. 6 men fighting it out around this twisty and undulating Czech Republic course. It is very difficult to break yourself of the habit of calling it Czechoslovakia. And Stefan Prine at the front of this pack. And ahead now in the battle for the lead, it's Kazuto Sakata. Well, Sakata has gone ahead. Maybe Dirk Rowdies has decided he'd like to sit behind for a while and let Sakata do some of the hard work. Maybe Sakata has just mounted so determined an attack that Rowdies has succumbed to the pressure. Now Sakata will now be pulling out all the stops to try his very best and get clear. They both looked over their shoulders simultaneously there, and now here is the spot where the lead changed. Classic slipstreaming manoeuvre into the right-handed corner. And Kazuto Sakata it is that leads the Czech Republic Grand Prix from Dirk Rowdies. That was the way it was in practice. And if it was to stay that way until the checkered flag, well, the lead would be cut to 12 points, and there'll be everything to play for in the final 3 rounds of the series. It's still Sakata from Rowdies, but it looks like we're building up to a real grandstand finish between these two as they cross the finish line to complete yet another lap. And Rowdies makes his move to try and grab it back. Indeed he does. Rowdies is in front again from Sakata. 11 laps gone, 8 laps to go. Well, now was that just to try and show Sakata that he's in charge, that he's the man with the upper hand in this personal battle between these two? But it's Dirk Rowdies that leads at the moment. Kazuto Sakata in 2nd place. Rowdies, quick glance over the shoulder, and still right there, Kazuto Sakata. Meanwhile, the scrap for 5th place, providing plenty of entertainment for this large crowd at Brno. Saito at the front at the moment, ahead of Stefan Prine, Jorge Martinez, Carlos Giro and Peter Ertl. But positions there changing all the time. Still Akira Saito on the number 17 bike, ahead of Prine and Martinez. Positions changing 3, 4 and 5 times a lap sometimes between this 6-man battle for 5th place. Well, it's turned into 2 groups now, a 4-man group, and then being pursued by a duo. The inside line there to Stefan Prine, but the faster line around the corner for Akira Saito, and Saito it is that hangs on to that 5th place. But great entertainment for the crowd. The German flag you could see being waved there to urge on their man. Presumably Stefan Prine is the man that they're supporting there. But it's Saito, Prine, Giro making an attempt to pick up a place or 2 there, and doing so at the expense of Jorge Martinez. It's Rowdies and Sakata out front, Sujimura and Ueda, then Saito, Prine, Giro, Martinez, Oertel and Casanova bringing up the rear, and that accounts for the top 10 in this 11th round of the World Championship. Up the hill under the Lucky Strike banner, it's Stefan Prine, Akira Saito. But then look how far they are behind the race leader, Dirk Rowdies, 19.8 seconds, almost 20 seconds down. Such is the blistering pace that has been set by the 2 men fighting for the lead, Dirk Rowdies and Kazuto Sakata. 7 laps of this race remaining, and there's still plenty of life left yet in this battle for 5th place. Prine from Saito, but it changes so quickly. Carlos Giro, Charlie Giro coming up a place at the expense of Jorge Martinez there. Meanwhile, out front, it's still Dirk Rowdies from Kazuto Sakata. Saito making a move to try and grab the lead. He's alongside Prine. He's got the inside line and he goes through. Saito back into 5th place. Prine relegated to 6th for the moment, but things change so rapidly and so often that it's anybody's guess as to what's going to happen next. The order at the moment, though, is Stefan Prine, Akira Saito, Carlos Giro, Jorge Martinez. Oh, and Giro now picking up a place. Oh, terrific stuff. Gianola bringing up the rear. Casanova bringing up the rear, I do beg your pardon. Still Rowdies out front from Sakata, Ueda and Sujimura. Saito, Giro, Prine, Martinez, Oertel and Casanova. And Giro reckons, well, if that 5th place is up for grabs, I might as well grab it. So he's having a go at challenging and hitting the front of the group. At the moment, he hasn't quite made it, but it's Akira Saito, Carlos Giro, and Giro finally does it. Charlie Giro in 5th place. Giro 5th, Saito in 6th. In 7th place is Prine. 8th is Peter Oertel, and in 9th place there, oh, we missed, I missed Jorge Martinez there, beg your pardon, in 9th place. In 8th place. Well, as I said, the positions are changing all the time so rapidly. A great scrap. You can bet your life they're thoroughly enjoying this battle out there. Nothing they like better than a close, hard-fought race, and there have been plenty of those in the 125cc GPs to date this year. Giro, Saito, Prine, Martinez. Ertl and Casanova. Oh, through goes Prine, but he doesn't manage to get the better of Saito this time around. In the front of the field is still Rowdies from Sakata. Did Kazuto Sakata show his hand too early? Well, we can only wait and see in the closing stages of this race. Meanwhile, we're concentrating on this fine scrap for 5th place. Stefan Prine at the front, but losing that place momentarily to Carlos Giro. It's Prine in 5th. On to the start and finish straight. Prine in 5th. Still Rowdies, Sakata, Ueda and Sugimura. Prine, Giro, Saito, Martinez, Ertl and Casanova. And they're all over the place, these bikes, in this scrap for 5th place, and it's still Stefan Prine on bike number 33. Just 5 laps to go. 5 laps in which to make your mark, to try and break away. That 5th place is up for grabs. Unfortunately, there are half a dozen people trying to grab it. Back with the battle now for the lead. And they're still as if tied together. Dirk Rowdies and Kazuto Sakata. Just a couple of bike lengths between them. Great action. They've been like that almost since the start of the race. It looked at one point as if Rowdies was going to break away. Now is Sakata making a move here? No, he decides against it. Not quite close enough to nip out of the slipstream. As they head up the hill, it's still Rowdies from Sakata. And has Rowdies got that extra power up the hill? Oh, another glance over the shoulder. Unfortunately, he's still right there, mate. Rowdies in the lead, but only just from Kazuto Sakata. The 29-year-old German, 7 times a Grand Prix winner so far this year. Can he make it win number 8? 4 laps of this race remaining. And Rowdies and Sakata have done all the hard work, and just look at that gap before we see the battle for 3rd place between Takeshi Sugimura and Noboru Ueda. Nobi Ueda in 4th place at the moment, but these two have swapped places time and again during this race. So it's turning into a race in which there are several battles. The battle for the lead, the battle for 3rd place, and then the battle for 5th spot. Look at the shimmering heat haze of a hot Czech Sunday afternoon. Ueda grabbing back 3rd. Really important battle. This is the battle for the lead, and it's still Dirk Rowdies that's ahead. It's still Kazuto Sakata in 2nd place, and time is running out for Sakata. It's fast coming to the stage where he's going to have to make a decisive move. Rowdies it is that is clinging on to that lead. The last lap, and they're side by side into the final corner, and Sakata takes the lead. Sakata takes the lead into the first corner on the last lap. Rowdies now is in 2nd place, and he won't be willing to settle for that. He'll want the increased lead. He's led this race, he's dominated it right from the start, but it's Kazuto Sakata that leads now. The Japanese leads, the German in 2nd place. It's only the 2nd time in this race that Kazuto Sakata has led. 1 time a Grand Prix winner so far this year. Kazuto Sakata, and he's off the track. He runs wide, he's actually in the dirt, and that costs him the lead, and has it cost him the race? Oh dear, Sakata, who won in Spain, ran wide there, off the track, into the dirt, onto the grass, and has that cost him victory in the Grand Prix of the Czech Republic? He's fighting back. It's still Dirk Rowdies out front at the moment, and Sakata is fighting back, but has he left it too late? If he leaves it until a run into the checkered flag, Well, I'm sure there's not enough space between the last corner and the finish line for him to do it. He's still right on Dirk Rowdy's tail, but a momentary mistake, a momentary lapse in concentration cost him the lead. He's right in the slipstream, he pulls out of the slipstream, he's alongside him, he goes through on the inside. A brilliant overtaking manoeuvre at the bottom of the hill. They head up the hill. It's still Sakata that leads from Rowdy's. Sakata out front again. Well, has he redeemed himself after that potentially disastrous error? It's Kazuto Sakata that leads. Dirk Rowdy's in second place. He runs wide again there. And has he done enough to win this race? Rowdy's mounts another attack. He forces him wide. They actually touch. The fairings bash on the final lap of this race. What an action-packed final lap there around the final corner now, heading towards the checkered flag. He forces him wide. It's anybody's race still, but Kazuto Sakata just gets it. What a terrific finish to the Czech Republic 125 Grand Prix. Kazuto Sakata just pipping Dirk Rowdy's in the run into the line. They banged fairings. Sakata ran wide. That last lap had everything. Takeshi Sugimura takes third place ahead of Noboru Ueda. But what a finish to the 125cc Czech Republic Grand Prix. Marvellous stuff. Akira Saito takes fifth place in the end, ahead of Carlos Giro and Peter Oertel. Stefan Prine misses out on his bid. Jorge Martinez comes through. But what a fantastic battle. And just look at Kazuto Sakata. He is so happy. He won his second race of the year. He cuts the lead in the World Championship to 12 points. Kazuto Sakata wins the Grand Prix of the Czech Republic. And this year, that's a confirmation of the result. 0.04 of a second. Sakata, Rowdy, Sugimura, Ueda, Saito and Carlos Giro. Peter Oertel, Jorge Martinez, Olivier Petrucciani, 11th place for Neil Hodgson. Another good result for Neil Hodgson. Well, congratulations to him, finishing behind Stefan Prine. It must have been a hard-fought race for him, but Neil Hodgson is definitely a man who is improving with every Grand Prix outing, and the 19-year-old from Burnley has some more World Championship points to his credit. Well, an absolutely superb finale to the first Grand Prix of the Czech Republic. Dirk Rowdy's 2.22, Sakata 2.10. This World 125cc Championship is far from over yet.